Hello students, Mr. Lawrence here with your update for September 24th, 2020. First off, just a word about my son. For those that are at home, you may not realize this, but my son had surgery yesterday, so I was not here. I've just got to share this because it's so priceless. So my son had his wisdom teeth removed, and that poor kid had a rough day. That was him at about 1 o'clock yesterday. Poor guy. Anyway, today's word of the day is audacious. It means excessively bold. And you may be audacious, or you may have a friend or a family member who's audacious. It's not a bad thing. People that are audacious tend to be gregarious also. They're a little bit more chatty and a little bit more socially engaged with others. I want to talk about your I Matter Because assignment. Yesterday we started that, and that is the PTA Reflections theme. You are writing something for that. Yesterday you were supposed to get started on that, and that's going to be something you work on outside of my normal class time. So if you are at home, you're working on that at home. Tomorrow I will enable Canvas so that you can turn in your draft to me, and then I will teach you on how we're submitting this to the Reflections contest at a later date. Today we are doing something totally different as well. Today we are participating in a research project with all the junior highs here in, well, I guess it's a few of the junior highs and high schools in Nebo School District in coordination with Brigham Young University and a whole bunch of other universities. Let's see, the University of California, Irvine, Arizona State, Brigham Young University, Texas State, San Marcos, Northeastern Illinois University, University of Minnesota, Oklahoma State University, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and California State University, Fresno. So those universities and a whole bunch of schools in their community through the school district's permission are participating in this thing called Pathways to Academic Success. It's a two-part thing, and it's a nonfiction prompt. So I'm going to be playing for you a story, and you are going to then take notes. And then tomorrow, you'll be getting instructions on what you're going to do with these notes. So if you need to, click on the assignment on Canvas called Sometimes the Earth is Cruel. And there you'll have the attached files. You can print this if you want, or just scratch paper, but I want you to at least see what the questions are while you're listening to the story. And this video today is going to be a little longer because I'm going to play it for you. It has a prompt that they want read. It's kind of a script, and they do it much better than I would. So be patient. It's going to be kind of awkward because I'm not going to be saying or doing a thing.
Now let's get started. Today, day one, we're going to begin by reading the article along with me, and then you will organize your pre-writing planning on your own in this slide deck. The first thing you'll see on slide 5 are the instructions for day one, which I'm now going to read aloud to you.
You don't have the
But
slides.
since this slide deck is a little bit small and difficult to see in the video, I'm going to switch views so that we can get a closer look at the instructions and read the article together. But please know that when you're done listening to this video, you will complete the rest of your work within this slide deck. So now I'm going to switch over to this document. You have all of these pages in your slide deck, but this view helps.
Again, to clarify, you're getting a digital version of what they have. All of my students are getting a paper version. So don't think you're missing something if you can't find it.
To make it a little bit larger so that you can see the document more easily in the video. The resource we're going to look at today is entitled Reading A, Sometimes the Earth is Cruel. Instructions for day one, reading the article. You will have 2 class days for this reading and writing assessment. Today you are working on the reading and reading analysis activity. First, follow along as the article is read aloud to you by me. During this time, you can take notes in the text box next to the article in the slide deck or on a separate piece of slide deck and add your notes later. You can watch this video over and over as many times as you need to read the article. Then, in your slide deck, you will respond to some questions that will help you think about what you have read. During another class day, you will review the notes and activities from today to help you write the essay about this article. So let's get started. The title of this article is Haiti, Sometimes the Earth is Cruel, by Leonard Pitts Jr., syndicated columnist. Sometimes the earth is cruel. That is ultimately the fundamental lesson here. As children wail, families sleep out of doors, and the dead lie unclaimed in the rubble that was once Port-au-Prince. Sometimes the rains fall and will not stop. Sometimes the skies turn barren and will not rain. Sometimes the seas rise and smack the shoreline like a fist. Sometimes the wind bullies the land, and sometimes the land rattles and heaves and splits itself in two. Sometimes the earth is cruel. And as always, when it is, we do the same thing. We dig ourselves out. We weep and mourn. We recover and memorialize the dead. We rebuild our homes. And we go on. This is the price of being human, and also, arguably, the noblest expression. Sometimes the earth is cruel, and you have no choice but to accept that as part of the bargain called life. And when it is your turn to deal with it, you do. But what if it's always your turn? Surely some homeless, dust-streaked Haitian can be forgiven for thinking that it is always Haiti's turn this morning, 2 days after the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere saw its capital city smashed by the strongest earthquake it has ever known, a 7.0 magnitude monster. Surely the rest of us, watching from afar, experiencing tragedy and devastation from the comfort of our desk chairs and living room couches, are tempted to believe the same thing. Bad enough, Haiti is wretchedly poor. Bad enough, it has a history of political instability and colonialism, of being ignored by the major powers when it is not being exploited by them. Bad enough, all that, yet at the end of the day, those are disasters authored by human hands, by human greed, human corruption, human economic predation. Sometimes, though, you have to wonder if the planet itself is not conspiring against this humble little nation. After 1994, when Tropical Storm Gordon killed several hundred people, after 1998, when Hurricane Georges swept away over 500 lives, after 2004, when the rains of Tropical Storm Jean claimed over 2,000 souls, after 2005, when Hurricane Dennis took 25 lives in July, and Tropical Storm Alpha snatched 17 in October, followed by Hurricane Wilma, which stole 11 more. After a double whammy of Hurricanes Faye and Gustav in 2008, killed over 130 people, and destroyed over 3,100 homes. After all that comes the latest insult, and a death toll officials cannot begin to even imagine. Perhaps as many as 100,000, they were saying on Wednesday. Sometimes the earth is cruel. To crawl the planet's skin, scanning for tornadoes in Oklahoma, charting storm tracks in Florida, running from wildfires in California, is to understand this in a primal, personal way. It is to breathe a prayer that begins, quote, there but for the grace of God, unquote. It is to write relief checks, donate blood, volunteer material and time, and to fear, even in the doing, that these gestures are small against the need, inconsequential against the ache of a people whose turn seems never to end. But what else are you going to do? As the playwright put it, your arms are too short to box with God. Even less have we the ability to answer the question that burns the moment. Why are the most vulnerable repeatedly assessed the highest price? We are hamstrung by our own limitations. Christians do what human beings always do, the thing at which they have become so terribly practiced. Dig out, weep and mourn, memorialize the dead, rebuild, go on, and show the world once again a stubborn insistence of living despite all the cruelties of the earth. From the Miami Herald, copyright 2010, McClatchy, all rights reserved, used under license.
Okay, so thanks for sticking with that. They wanted to read that prompt to you. You will see in the attached files that are in the assignment for Sometimes the Earth is Cruel, there is a vocabulary list on page 4, and then a series of guiding questions to get you to think about what was going on in this story. Just so you know, you will be writing a short essay based on what this said. You are choosing the theme, meaning you decide what you want to write about related to this short article. This was a piece of journalism. This, as it said, was published in the Miami Herald just 2 days after the Haiti earthquake. And they documented a bunch of other natural disasters where human lives were lost. So that might drive how you approach this in 2020. You know, they're saying some of the numbers. Well, maybe you want to research a little bit about what's going on with COVID and some of the numbers associated with that. You have the article, so you can reread it whenever you want. You have this YouTube video, so you can replay it. I hope the audio is okay. I just used the classroom speakers. That seemed the most reasonable way to do this. Tomorrow, I will be giving you the prompt for the essay. I don't want you to start it today. This is supposed to be a 2 40 to 50 minute long sessions. Because of the shortness of our classes, it's going to be abbreviated here on campus. So those that are working at home might have a better advantage. One other thing to say, tonight, parent-teacher conference goes from 2:30 till 7. However, I will be at a tennis tournament. I anticipate that going till about 5:30, so I won't be at the campus until about 6. I will try to be here as soon as I can. Parents and guardians are welcome to come. I will have a note on my door, and they can leave their information if they'd like me to get a hold of them. But I would like to know who came by. So if I miss anybody, please have them leave their information on the note. And let's see. Yeah, tomorrow we'll finish the I Matter Because, and tomorrow we'll finish Sometimes the Earth is Cruel. Kind of a weird week. Have a great day. Be safe.